Hi, I'm Carly from Close to My Heart. I'm sure you've seen the trendy ombre look everywhere. It's where you take one color and melt it into another, creating lighter and darker hues like a rainbow of various shades of one color. With hair, they call it a melt, and you can see it all the time in clothing styles, cake decorating, and more. Today, I want to show you how to create the trendy ombre look in your paper crafting. Now, if you'll look over here at this mini album that I've created using our new art booking Cricut collection, I have created a fun ombre title using just a few simple items. Let me show you how to make this. I start with a dimensional elements monogram letter, and I'm going to choose G. And then you'll just need liquid glass and at least 2 colors of re-inker. I'm picking 3 because I want there to be quite a bit of variation. So I'm using Autumn Terracotta, Gold Rush, and Creme Brulee. And they're all kind of in the same color family, but they're definitely a good variation, and you'll see why in a minute. Then I'm going to use for my mixing bowls our little treat cups because they can just be tossed away as soon as I'm done and I don't have to worry about the mess. You'll also want your bowl enfolder, and we're going to use that for mixing and applying the liquid glass. So to begin, I actually have already mixed the Autumn Terracotta and the Gold Rush, and so what you'll do, I'll mix the Creme Brulee so you can see that. I'm going to take my liquid glass and I'm just going to put it in my treat cup, and you'll want a fairly substantial amount because you want to be able to complete your entire title with this 1 cup of mixed liquid glass, because if you have to remix, even if you follow the same formula, you might have color variation. So to achieve that same look, you'll want to make sure you have enough to begin with. Now for my Autumn Terracotta, I only needed to use 4 drops of re-inker. For my Gold Rush, I needed 6. My recommendation is to make sure that you get the color that you would like. Start with re-inking 1 drop. Well, that came out multiple little drops, but you'll want to start light. So I'm just going to put a droplet in there and I'll stir it up. And the great thing, often it's kind of annoying that liquid glass takes a while to dry, but in this case it's actually really nice because you have time to get the variation that you want. So I actually want it darker. I'm going to add another drop and stir that up to make sure that I'm getting the variation. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. So you'll want to just do it drop by drop. If you're feeling brave, you can do 2 drops, and that's what I'm going to do. So once I have the color that I want mixed up, then I'm actually going to start with my lightest color, so my Creme Brulee, and I'm just going to apply it to the letter. And the reason I'll start with my lightest color is so that I don't have to go back and clean off my bone folder in between every color, because it will just take that much more time. So I'll just scoop up a little bit on the tip of my bone folder, and then I'll hold the letter down, and I'm just going to tap it on there. And there's no real rhyme or reason to this. You don't have to worry about straight lines because the colors are going to bleed into each other, and that's a good thing. You want them to just blend right together. So I'm just going to put it on. Now, just like you do when you're mixing, you do it 1 drop at a time. I recommend starting with a really light coat and make sure that you have the color that you want. If you want it darker, add more re-inker or add another layer. But just keep in mind, the thicker that you do the liquid glass, the longer it's going to take to dry. So I've got my Creme Brulee on there, and again, I won't clean off the bone folder. I'm just going to scoop up a little bit of Gold Rush. And because I'm using the treat cups that I can just toss, I'll just take the excess off right there on the edge. And again, I'm just tapping it. Scoop a little bit more. And I have a little piece of scratch paper underneath because it is messy, and that's okay. Then I'll get my Autumn Terracotta, and I'm going to tap that on there too, just like I did with the others. And you can see how the color is bleeding into the next color, and that just helps give you the fun ombre look. It does all the work for you. So once you have it on there, because I've done it so thick on here to make sure that it has that nice lift and texture on my mini album, I am going to let this dry overnight, which is how long it took these to dry. So what I would do is as soon as I'm finished, I would just push it aside and let it rest. But this is what it looks like when it's finished. And you can see here, there are bubbles. It's not perfect, but if you can't handle the bubbles, that's okay. All you have to do is just go back with your piercing tool or your bone folder, and this one's dry so I can't, but you could go back while it was still wet and malleable and just pull those bubbles out. Make sure you get it the way you want. You've got plenty of time again before it dries, and then just set it aside and forget about it. Go back to creating your album, make your binding, you can use fun ribbons, do whatever you want to finish up your album, and then add your title at the end. Doesn't that look great? And it really is so easy. So just try the ombre technique on your own paper crafting projects. And all you need to do to order these products is just contact your Close to My Heart independent consultant or visit closetomyheart.com.